You are listening to Julia's Trucking Cafe News Hour. And welcome to Julia's Trucking Cafe Trucking News Hour. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy that you're here and that you want to listen to the trucking news. As always, I have lots of news to get to, so let's get right to it. It says Tesla's battery-powered semis will, quote, probably never be a practical solution. Duh. You just ask any long-haul truck driver. We already know this. We don't need tech guru Bill Gates sharing this. He recently shared a blog post that made the news, casting doubt on the practicality of the Tesla Semi. In the August 24th blog post, which focuses on zero emissions travel options, the Microsoft co-founder says electric vehicles, known as EVs, are a great option for short and medium hauls, but that the batteries needed to power Elon Musk's Tesla Semi are unlikely to work in the real world applications. Like I said, if you ever drove a truck, you already know this. From the blog post, I quote, "The problem is that batteries are big and heavy." Well, okay. The more weight you're trying to move, the more batteries you need to power the vehicle. Yeah. The more batteries you use, the more weight you add. Duh. And the more power you need. Even with big breakthroughs in battery technology, electric vehicles will probably never be a practical solution for things like 18-wheelers, cargo ships, and passenger jets. Electricity works when you need to cover short distances, but we need a different solution for heavy, long-haul vehicles. You know, tell me something I don't know. Gates goes on to suggest that biofuels or electrofuels would be a lower emission alternative to EVs. The Tesla Semi was unveiled back in 2017, with the expected production slated to begin in 2019. Musk says that the Tesla Semi will have a range of up to 500 miles, which is short haul. Several major companies, including Walmart, PepsiCo, Cisco, JB Hunt, and UPS, have already placed orders for Tesla Semis. June 2020, Musk confirmed that he was ramping up production on the Tesla Semi to begin to bring it to market. Even though what Bill Gates says is true, I think he's envious that he didn't think of it first and cash in on that cash cow. And up next, videos show these mini trucks are mega impressive. Some of the biggest semi-truck enthusiasts express their love of the road to building and maintaining of mini trucks. Don't be fooled by the mini truck, though. These trucks are fully functioning and seriously impressive. We've compiled a list of some of our favorites so you could get a closer look at the craftsmanship and dedication that goes into these little rigs. And yeah, they're about half the size. They're like a low-riding little truck. The mini truck owner Joe Orton and his dad go into all the details about his mini truck. It's decked out with green details and cow skulls, adding more personalized flair to his truck. And you can even check out these videos on the bottom of this article that'll be in the show notes at juliastruckingcafe.com/category/show notes. And a video shows a young boy driving a semi down the road. Yeah, his dad's in custody. Authorities have arrested a man who filmed a young boy driving a semi-truck down the road. The incident occurred on the M1 in Northern Ireland. The video was shared and has since gone viral. The video captured the attention of authorities in Ireland and called the incidents reckless and careless. It's reckless to see it not only on a local road, but on a motorway. It is totally wrong, said the Dublin counselor, which is like a judge. Police asked the public to identify the young boy in hopes of locating the man who filmed the video. Their plea worked. According to a tweet by the Police Service of Northern Ireland, they have arrested a 38-year-old man. Police have not released the nature of the charges against the suspect. The 8-second video shows the young boy in the driver's seat while the man films from the passenger seat. You can see that there are several other vehicles on the roadway. The highway has a reported speed limit of 70 miles an hour. The man asks the boy, "You all right there, lad?" To which the boy responds, "Yeah." It is unclear how long the boy drove. There was no reported accidents regarding this incident. It happened in in Ireland. And a truck driver caught with a stash of cocaine worth $10 million at the Canada border. A truck driver was arrested by Canadian border officials after $10 million worth of cocaine was discovered inside his semi and was coming into the United States. The incident is among the largest drug seizures from a truck at the U.S.-Canadian border since it was closed for non-essential travel back in March. An unidentified male truck driver was arrested on August 18th at the Queenston-Lewiston Bridge, a U.S.-Canadian border crossing linking southern Ontario and western New York. Officers conducted a secondary inspection after noticing anomalies in the packaging of the shipment. They discovered 117 kilos of suspected cocaine in 104 packages concealed in the commercial load. The Canadian police estimated the drugs were worth about $10.6 million. The driver and the evidence were turned over to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. And this investigation is ongoing. And next, a man accused of shooting at vehicles with a sawed-off shotgun on the North Carolina highway. A 33-year-old South Carolina man is accused of driving along Interstate 95 in North Carolina and randomly shooting at vehicles earlier in September. Shots struck 3 vehicles. 3 people were injured. One was flighted to a local hospital. The chase began around a 145-mile marker in North Carolina, ended up at the 11-mile marker in Virginia, and went on through 4 counties in North Carolina and into the state of Virginia. Chase came to an end when Dangerfield lost control of his vehicle and went into the median and overturned. Nash County authorities say Dangerfield was under an illegal substance at the time of the incident. They say Dangerfield allegedly set his home on fire in South Carolina before going on this rampage. Alrighty then, I guess it takes all kinds. Police say a person who climbed under a tractor trailer was dragged to his death. Well, you think? New York police are investigating the death of a person who they say climbed under a semi-truck. Police were called to the scene just after 4 p.m. on Thursday, September 10th, last week, after witnesses saw a person get dragged under a truck. The person was found already deceased in the roadway when officers arrived on the scene. Following an investigation, the town of New Paltz Police Department said that the person climbed under a UPS tractor trailer while the vehicle stopped in traffic. The truck driver was unaware that there was anyone under the truck and continued driving. The person was eventually dislodged from under the truck onto the roadway. Police were able to make contact with the truck driver. They say that the truck driver is fully cooperating with the investigation and no charges have been filed. Well, they shouldn't be filed because of the fact you didn't know. Anybody could crawl underneath your truck in traffic. You wouldn't know. And here's a lesson on why you shouldn't speed. Another reason why you need to slow the F down through the truck stop parking lot. An overturned truck in a Love's parking lot was spotted in Kentucky, demonstrating why you should never speed through the parking lot. This happened in Elizabethtown, Kentucky on Thursday, September 10th. They said he was on his phone coming through the parking lot too fast and lost control of his truck and wiped it out in the back. Come around a curve and lost it and laid it over in the truck parking lot. He just wanted to lay down and sleep for a little while, commented another user. While others speculated that perhaps a bathroom emergency was behind the driver's high rate of speed. Just slow the F down. And if you watch this video and this article, it'll help you decide if you still want to defund the police. As cities across America are discussing defunding their police departments, a police officer's video announcing what defunding the police in his town means has gone viral. A satirical video was originally posted in 2019 before other cities began voting on whether or not to defund their police departments. But the officer's message couldn't be more timely and gives the public a harsh look at what could really happen if cities vote to defund their police departments. In the video, which was posted to Officer Daniel Page, the officer says that the department will be changing its hours due to defunding and police officers quitting. In the video, the officer states, quote, police services will only be available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays from 10 a.m. till noon. We will be closed on Sundays to allow officers to take mandatory furlough days, end quote. The topic of defunding the police has stirred a lot of controversies. Last month, the owner of Chicago Trucking Company said defunding police departments would wreak havoc on the trucking industry, which I already said. I reported on that here a few episodes ago. And in this article, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration extends historic 50-state waiver through December 31st. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration has issued a new months-long extension to emergency declaration providing regulatory relief for truckers hauling certain goods. The FMCSA has again extended a first-of-its-kind nationwide emergency declaration through December 31st due to the ongoing virus crisis. The waiver provides relief from Parts 390 through 399 of the FMCSA regs, which includes hours of service requirements. The waiver applies to the truckers who are hauling the following types of goods in direct assistance to support emergency relief efforts: livestock feed, medical supplies and equipment related to testing, diagnosis, and treatment, supplies and equipment necessary for community safety, sanitation, and prevention of community transmission, such as masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, soap and disinfectants, food, paper products, and other groceries for emergency restocking of distribution centers or stores. Quote, direct assistance does not include routine commercial deliveries, including mixed loads with nominal quantity of qualifying emergency relief added to obtain the benefits of this declaration. FMCSA also reiterated that the hours of service waiver does not give motor carriers the right to compel fatigued drivers to operate. Any driver who informs a motor carrier that they need to rest is to be given 10 hours off duty before they were required to return to duty. The initial hours of service waiver was issued on March 13th and has since been extended and expanded several times as the virus continues. The previous extension was set to expire on September 14th. More information on the emergency declaration extension, there's a link in this article. And get this. In this article, officials threaten a trucker with heavy fines and police involvement for feeding homeless during the virus. A truck driver says he has been threatened with heavy fines and police involvement after feeding the homeless during the virus. For the past few years, truck driver Matt Pine has held an outdoor food kitchen at Queen Square in Wrexham, Wales, every Wednesday, feeding the homeless with the help of donations from local citizens. Now, Wrexham Council officials have instructed him to stop due to the virus, threatening him with fines and police involvement. Okay, this is over in... It's abroad. It's not here in the States at all. However, Pine claims that he has never had more than 18 people come up to grab food at one time, leaving with him within the 30-person maximum gathering restrictions put in place due to the virus. He says, I've been doing this for 3 years. He said, this is in North Wales, UK. I get donations to give homeless people food, and I use Queen Square because it's a public location with closed-circuit TV cameras, which offer security for the people we help. I give out about 20 to 30 meals. However, he continued, a lady came out from the council and told me I could be liable for a fine and that the police could get involved because of the virus rules. The most we have had is between a maximum of 15 to 18 people at any one time. So I am within the law. Since then, Wrexham Council has issued this statement on the matter. There should therefore be no requirement for people to access food on the street, which can be a risk to the spread of the virus. Food or the facilities to prepare food is in and continues to be available for all supported residents. Quote, or parentheses, homeless people, should they require it where they are placed. Wrexham Council recognizes and appreciates the help and assistance of volunteers, but has respectfully requested that all volunteers cease this activity and contact AVOW to discuss how they can participate in the new strategy going forward. Since then, the police have issued a statement saying that they have not received evidence to support a prosecution of this nature. Still, Pine says he is frustrated. Virus rules are not going to put food in these people's mouths. And our next story, 3 people are dead and a truck driver shot in the face during a Tennessee interstate rampage. 3 people are dead and another 3 wounded following a violent series of shootings and carjackings in Tennessee. This happened on September 13th near Beech Grove, Tennessee, according to a news release from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Authorities say that the motorist, a St. Louis, Missouri resident, Dorsey, 29, opened fire on others inside a moving vehicle traveling west on I-24. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, or TBI, says that one person inside the vehicle was shot to death and another was injured. The person who was killed was later identified as 28-year-old Darcy Johnson. Traffic stopped on I-24 following the shootings. TBI says that Dorsey tried to carjack another vehicle and in the process shot a motorist in the hand. Authorities also said that a truck driver in the immediate area sustained a gunshot wound to the face but survived. Dorsey then allegedly carjacked a Ford Mustang and ordered the man and woman inside to drive him to their home in Morrison, where Dorsey was able to take 2 additional firearms. After swapping out the Ford Mustang for a Toyota RAV4, Dorsey forced the man and woman to accompany him as hostages. At some point, Dorsey killed the male hostage, later identified as 23-year-old Philip Jordan Stevens. His body was recovered along I-24 westbound at exit 111B. Around 3:30 p.m., authorities were able to locate the Toyota RAV4 traveling eastbound on I-24 with the female hostage still inside. A chase ensued, during which the RAV4 at times reached speeds of 100 miles an hour. Dorsey then crashed and flipped the RAV4. At this point, he took his own life. The female hostage was recovered by police. And in other news, a delivery truck driver was fatally shot at a Memphis restaurant. Tennessee police are investigating the shooting death of a delivery truck driver at a restaurant location in South Memphis on Monday. The Memphis Police Department said that the shooting occurred at Jack Priddle's chicken location at Bellevue on Monday morning. When police arrived on the scene, they found a delivery truck driver who had suffered multiple gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police have not made any arrests at this time. Anyone with information on the shooting is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. And up next, more than 80% of polled truck drivers disapprove of lowering interstate driving age. After the FMCSA, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, announced a major new pilot program to allow teen truckers to operate interstate, many truck drivers sounded off about the possible consequences, both good and bad. The FMCSA announced a pilot program that I talked about. This current news article or news agency posted a poll on the topic, and out of more than 1,000 responses, 83% of drivers said they do not feel the interstate driving age should be lowered to 18. Only 17% of drivers said the interstate driving age should be lowered. Many of the respondents voiced concern about already skyrocketing insurance rates, short driver training programs, maturity, and driver wages. Yeah, they push and push and push and push. And then they wonder why, accident rates or accident statistics are going up in the air. And in this story, a safety alert issued for Missouri Interstate for wood being thrown at trucks. A major trucker association issued a safety alert to members traveling on a Missouri Interstate. According to Illinois Trucking Association, on September 12th, a member reported that people standing on the overpass were throwing wood at trucks traveling westbound on I-44 at mile marker 163 in Missouri. And a truck driver sparks controversy after attending a Zoom meeting while he was driving. A truck driver is under fire for allegedly attending a city council Zoom meeting while driving. Truck driver David Brown of Boston, UK, attended the city council meeting on September 9th. According to Lincolnshire Live, Brown said that he pulled to the side of the road to start the meeting and then just listened to the meeting while driving. Brown argued that listening to the meeting was no different than listening to the radio while driving, but many others, including the town council, disagreed, calling the situation disgusting and saying that it could have ended in tragedy. Video of the meeting has drawn sharp criticism on social media. I'm not sure if the most worrying thing is that a counselor thought he was above the law by being on a Skype meeting whilst driving a 40-ton vehicle, or that the rest of the people on this call didn't challenge him on this. What other crimes could they turn a blind eye to? And quote, shows how most politicians are brain dead and stupid, that nobody had the tenacity or balls to call this have a go out for driving while attending a Zoom meeting. A bunch of amateurs hope the strong arm of the law has come down on David Brown. And then someone said, how on earth can these people sit in on this meeting and not recognize the one supposed counselor was driving and using a device at the same time? He was so distracted and unable to concentrate on the task at hand that he thought he was in another year. Another user posted. And what an absolute disgrace. We work hard to teach people to be safe and legal on the roads. Yet one idiot uses his phone for a meeting and all the other idiots pretend not to notice. How can anybody take you lot seriously? 6 points coming your way soon. And Brown has resigned his position on the council, but some members of the council don't think that resignation is punishment enough. Merely apologizing and resigning from cabinet is not enough for what the people of Boston deserve from Councilor Brown. And a commercial vehicle driver was stopped for a seatbelt violation, but Georgia cops find so much more. The Georgia Department of Public Safety stopped a commercial vehicle driver for a simple seatbelt infraction, but ended up discovering a host of other violations. Georgia Department of Public Safety put a driver on a blast with one of their violations of the week. They wrote, this driver of this commercial vehicle was stopped for not wearing a seatbelt. During the inspection, the officer smelled the odor of marijuana, which led to the discovery of suspected marijuana, 2 different narcotics, 2 firearms, and the driver was a convicted felon. The driver was also placed out of service for not having an ELD. And in other news, truckers hold differing opinions over potential hair follicle testing, poll reveals. A proposal to require hair drug testing for truckers is currently under consideration by feds, and drivers are harboring differing opinions on the issue. On September 1st, Drug Testing Advisory Board with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services submitted a hair testing proposal to the Federal Register for publication with the hopes that the public, including truck drivers, will be able to comment on the proposal in the future. More than 1,000 drivers have offered their opinion on the matter through a poll conducted on this news outlet. 40% said yes, 42% said no, and 18% were indifferent. Of the 1,095 drivers who answered the poll, like I just mentioned, some drivers voiced concern about the overregulation of the industry and potential false positives. And our last story of the day, and we're finally all caught up. A big load of beef bound for the U.S. goes missing, Canadian cops say. Police are asking for the public for help in locating a large load of steaks headed for the U.S. that disappeared after they were picked up from a meat packet plant in Canada. Brooks RCMP detailed a massive meat heist that occurred at the JBS meat packet plant in Brooks, Alberta. This happened August 30th, 2020. A transport truck that was subcontracted to haul a full load of beef from the JBS meat packet plant to the States failed to make its delivery, and was later determined that the transport truck was operating under fraudulent documents and a fraudulent name of Transport Pascal Charlin out of Quebec. The full load of beef was valued at over $230,000 and is unaccounted for still to this date. Police describe the suspect truck as a maroon-red tractor with a large bunk area pulling a white refrigerated trailer, and it's also an international, and so it's a maroon international. The suspect is described as a Caucasian male, tall with a heavy build, slightly balding, short brown hair. He's wearing blue jeans, a black t-shirt, yellow fluorescent vest, and a surgical mask at the time of the alleged cargo theft. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of this missing meat is asked to call Brooks RCMP at 403-794-4400. 403-794-4400. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you who tune in to listen to me each week here on the cafe. If you wouldn't mind, please subscribe using the link below, or on Cloud Hub, please subscribe at the top of the page. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. As I said, please, if you wouldn't mind, stop in if you're on Facebook and give us a like on Facebook. Also join our discussion group at Julia's Truckett Cafe Regulars. And if you wouldn't mind, subscribing to our newsletter at juliastruckettcafe.com/newsletter. So thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time. You have been listening to Julia's Truckett Cafe Truckin' News Hour. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Take care. Have a blessed day.